Hello, so welcome. I'm here with the gorgeous Alison Shaloe, our lovely midwife, fellow spirit baby communicator, and also soon to be author as well with the Unbound Press, as I am with Rose's Choice, my book Rose's Choice. And we're coming in today to chat about spirit baby communication. Who are they? How does it happen? How it can really enhance your journey to motherhood. It's a real gift for yourself, but it's a huge gift for your babies as well. So welcome, Alison. Thank you so much for being here in this chat.
Hi, Deborah. Hello, everyone.
So we were always talking about spirit babies. And really, it's like, when you're on particularly a challenging journey to motherhood, what you've probably tried everything. You've looked at all the diets, you've looked at all the different aspects of it, and you may even have looked at spirit baby communication or beginning to become open to thinking, is there more? What else can I possibly do? What else is going on here? And what Alice and I have both discovered through our work with spirit babies and working with women on an individual basis, as well as in a group settings, is that there's so much going on behind the scenes of this. There's so much more that you don't know is happening, and there's so much more to you that you don't know, that you've been told otherwise. When we're on a really difficult journey to motherhood, we can start tapping into all those old patterns of, what's wrong with me? Why is this happening to me? Am I being punished? Is it I don't deserve? And even like not even my babies want me. All of these old patterns and wounds and hurts that are yours from this lifetime, because we all are carrying them from our own time back in the womb and our own childhood. But also what we're discovering is there's a lot of ancestral history and past life history that's coming in, because a lot of the spirit babies, most of the ones that I'm in contact with anyway, are such a different vibration. They're like, we don't need to carry that kind of karma. We don't need to come in carrying this, reliving these patterns and reliving those, the programs and conditionings that we've unpacking as we go along through our life, and we don't even know that they're there half the time until we hit this challenge, until we start open up to becoming a mum. And whether that's a straightforward journey for you, certainly when you become a mum, it's like Pandora's box opening, and all of this stuff that you didn't know was there is starting to kind of flow out, and you're wondering, oh my gosh, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? But when you're on a challenging journey to motherhood, it's taking a little bit longer perhaps than you were hoping, or a lot longer than you expected, or there's been some experience of loss, then all of these thoughts and feelings tend to bubble up and make the whole experience really hard. So what spirit baby are helping you with, so they say it's a gift. It doesn't feel like a gift, trust me, I know, I've been there with my own losses. But they're asking you to look at those wounds, asking you to look at all those thoughts and beliefs that you have about yourself, that you're holding, that are through no fault of your own. It's your experiences. It's most likely what you've chosen on soul level, although that is a difficult one to get your head around maybe. But it's certainly part of your journey. And if you imagine the heaviness of carrying, the thought, if imagine is like a stone, how many stones are you holding within you that's weighing you down on your journey to motherhood? And when we open up to our journey to motherhood, and it's a little bit more difficult than we would like, we're being asked to look at those stones that are weighing us down, and imagine the babies helping you to release those stones, release those weights, so you can feel more lighter energetically, more light within yourself, more of the truth of yourself rather than what the world has been showing you and telling you. And you start to feel empowered within your journey to motherhood, empowered hope, rather than, certainly as I experienced, this kind of victim mentality of why me. So really looking at the babies and your journey to motherhood really ask you to look very deeply at what you're thinking and feeling about yourself. So Yeah, so we're here to just chat about the gorgeous spirit babies, because often on our journey to motherhood we can feel so alone and in our own heads, and some things we don't want to tell anyone how we're feeling. We may not even want to share that we're going through IVF treatment or egg donation or anything, and that's completely fine, but it's just sharing with yourself, how is that making you feel within yourself. It can feel really lonely, and you don't know who you're on the journey with. So the spirit babies very much are here with you. Your baby is on that journey with you. You're not alone on the journey. Your babies are very much with you. So when I was talking earlier about the gift of noticing how your journey to motherhood is making you feel, this is also a gift for them, because the less stones they have to kind of come in and bump up against, they don't need those stones. They're like, no, we're coming in with joy, we're coming in to change the world, we're coming in with a very different vibration of cooperation, kindness, unity. So very, very different way of growing up than what we had. And certainly this more conscious conception around it, this conscious kind of connection with your body, with with your babies. So you're in it together, you're on this beautiful journey together, and it certainly might not feel beautiful, I know this, but I've also come out the other side of it and can really feel full gratitude for all those experiences, certainly that I was going through, because it opens you up to the truth of you, if you are willing and open to really go into those things, those lovely thoughts that aren't so helpful about yourselves. So yeah, spirit babies, I could, they are with us, they're alongside us, and they know everything, they see everything, and they are here to help you with whatever it is that you are experiencing. So yeah, one of my how I got into spirit baby communication, I've actually written a whole book about it, Rose's Choice, really from, well, first of all, when I became pregnant with my first son and I could hear him in the womb saying, "Hi, Mum," and I was like, oh, okay, that's odd, and I was bit lovely, but I thought it was kind of normal, actually. It was just felt sort of, oh, of course we can communicate with our babies in the womb. And then after him, I went on to have 4 more losses, and Rosa, who I chose to release because of medical complications, which was my deep dive into the pit of thinking I was never going to come out of it, to now doing what I do now, which is supporting women on their journey to motherhood to help meet their babies in spirit and in their arms, to birth yourself as well as your babies. And along that journey, I met the gorgeous Alison. So Alison, if you can let us know, share how the babies that kind of came into your world and your life.
Yeah, sure. So I've been working as a midwife for over 25 years, and it was about 2017. I was sitting in a breastfeeding group to start with, and I thought, I'm sure that baby just said something, and I'm sure that baby just said something. And of course, I thought, I'm hearing voices, I must be going crazy. But then it started happening so much that I thought, there must be something in this. Anyway, I started to listen in a little bit more. And then sometimes when I was at birth, I'd hear voices say, tell her to move to the left, make her go to the bathroom, see if her bladder needs emptying. And I thought, this is really weird. And then I contacted Debra, actually, because I'd found out, I started to look and think, I've got to explore this. I'm definitely hearing the voices, and it really feels like it's the babies talking to me. And so I made contact with Debra, who actually she's also a soul plan reader, and she did my soul plan, and which meant that we could find out what my highest potential, if you like, for this lifetime was. And when I was talking to her about the voices of the baby, she said, well, that's because you're here to support women on the journey, to help to heal the emotional wounds of the mothers before you, but not only those mothers, the mothers, their own mothers and grandmothers. And of course, I didn't understand any of it. It felt a bit like a riddle, and how was that going to happen? And then it all just started to unfold. I joined a spiritual development group, having spoken to Debra, and then I found that when I was in meditation, or we were in the group, that I felt babies coming through that I had no idea whose babies they were, but in meditation, and they were kind of asking to be sent to the light. And I I really didn't understand what was going on. I really did think I was going a bit crazy. So every month I just light a candle once a month for any babies that have been terminated or miscarried that haven't been acknowledged for whatever reason. Not really understanding what I was doing, right? But Debra, I was kind of following Debra's work as well, during my journey, and realizing that, well, this does appear to be quite real, these babies, and I started to really trust it a bit more. And then before I know it, I was feeling more and more guided by the babies. And at the end of 2019, I started writing a book about breastfeeding, because I've been a lactation consultant for many years. And I would just get into a bit of a quiet state to start writing, and I'd write, and maybe 6 or 7 pages would come out with no mistakes, not much thought into it. And when I read it back, I thought, this is not a book about breastfeeding. This is a book about something else, but I have no idea what's unfolding. So I thought, okay, just trust it and just see what it comes out. And then before I knew it, I had about 40,000 words, which when I started to explore it, where it had come from, it appeared it had come from the baby spirit realm. And one of the babies that support me on my journey is my brother, who died when exactly 9 months before I was born. And he was about 18 months. He was quite unwell, and he was about 18 months when he died. And obviously I was either straight in the womb after him or just before he died. And really, I felt him really, really strongly, and felt like he was now guiding me in this part of my life. So I felt him very strongly when I was writing the book. So I believe that he had a lot to do with it. And I've just completed the book. It's going through the publishing process now, but it's all what spirit babies want their mothers to know. And really, in a summary, if you like, it is that, I mean, exactly like Debra said, the way that they have shown it to me is that, when their mothers are carrying, like the stones that Debra talked about, when they're carrying so much density, because we carry so much trauma from the past, so many difficult emotions that we often haven't worked through. And what they say, it's a bit like wading through treacle. And because the world is changing, and because we're becoming more high vibrational, these babies are much more high vibrational souls. And that just means that they're of a higher energy. And the best way I can describe it, if you imagine that the babies are right up here and we're kind of down here, what they want is us to rise up. They'll come down slightly, but they really want us as their mothers to rise up, because they really are here to make a difference. I mean, in my book, one of the things that came through was, we're on the verge of mass extinction. We are coming to change the world. And so they really need us to be healed as mothers, not completely, because we all carry stuff, but sometimes there are some densities which impact. And as Debra said, it can sometimes be that we've made a contract in a past lifetime, perhaps maybe dying in childbirth, and then thinking, I'm never going to do that again. And then now, finding that you're on a long journey to motherhood, which can be really, really challenging. So it's been an interesting journey.
Oh, amazing. It sounds amazing. It's amazing, because at the beginning you're thinking, am I making it up? Is this real? Like, what is going on? And certainly that was, that was my experience as well. But other people were saying to me, like, it yourself, but it's that sort of, no, I'm my if I went to an angel healer, okay, you're here to do the babies. Or when I was writing my book, or as I was thinking about writing my book, I even went to mediums, because I said, can you I thought I'd need a medium to tune into my own babies to hear their stories. But all of the 3 that I went to, they said I can only contact her through my guides, because she's that level, I can't reach her. And it was a couple, as a year or so, maybe even 2, that I thought, you know what, maybe I can do it myself. And I don't know where that thought came from. And the minute I said maybe I can do it myself, was when they, really it started to open up. So this is why I feel it's so important for women to feel empowered, to know it's their natural intuitive gifts. There's, it's not like it might be our job, if you like, to communicate with spirit baby, but it's not because we're anything different or more powerful or more special. No, like, every single one of us has this innate ability to connect. It's kind of really normal. In fact, it's more normal to feel in connection than the way we feel at the moment, which is separation from everything. So yeah, the babies are so wise and can really help us. I mean, I see energy, so they show me past lives. They show me where there's some ancestors that often are lining up, going, okay, you agreed to come in and heal this part of us. And I think you were chatting before, Alison, and maybe you can say a little bit more about that. But that when the ancestors come in to your sessions, you know, because there's a lot of baby loss, there's an awful lot of wounding that, you know, our grandmothers might not have been able to talk about if they released their babies, if they had babies out of wedlock. I mean, you know, this is just the way it was. They couldn't talk about it, and even if their babies didn't make it to term, they weren't allowed to talk. And those babies, and then, yeah, and like you said, you know, lighting candles for the babies to honor them, to acknowledge them, you know, to acknowledge them in the here and now, is really important, because they're, you know, they're part of your family. If you look at family constellations, any soul that's not here anymore is still part of your family line. So it's really important to honor that. So there's an awful lot of ancestral work going on, and the babies show us where that might be, because the other kind of metaphor, if that's the right word, that they show me is an aeroplane coming into land. So to have a clearer runway, like them being the plane, and they're looking for a clear runway in, so clear energetic runway, so the more debris we can clear out, you know, the smoother journey they can have coming in and landing. And so the opposite, you know, we can often feel there's something wrong with us if we're struggling to conceive, or if our baby wasn't able to stay. It's my fault, what was wrong? And actually it's totally opposite. Your babies see your light, they see you at that it's your potential. They see your potential, all they see is love. And they want you to see yourself as the love that they see you as. So we are kind of rising up to meet them in order for them to descend, in order to come in. And this is something else that they've shown me recently, is that we can feel like we're waiting for our results, we're waiting for our babies, we're waiting. And they said change waiting, WAIT, to wait, WEHIT, because if I just spelled that right, waiting, you're weighting them down, helping them to weight their energy down. And when you go up to meet them, and then you can help weight them down, because your frequency is going to feel much more familiar to them, much more like home, much more safe, I guess. It's like, oh, okay, that your energy, for your frequencies are going to match more. Then you can weight the energy down, like you can weight more of yourself down as well, because we need to be grounded, feeling safe on this planet, safe in our body. So
yeah, I love that about the waiting, Deborah. Like, you know, really weighting them down. And you know, this spirit baby communication is not new. I mean, people think that it's a new thing, but you know, when we go back many generations, this was the norm, you know. And women are communicating with their babies even if they don't realize it. You know, you might have a dream before you conceive, or you get a light, you know, during the moment of conception, perhaps. You know, this is not new. And babies were called, you know, when women gathered in tribes, babies were called. And you know, we've lost a lot of our feminine wisdom through the patriarchy, and it means that we've stopped trusting our intuition. And then we don't want to believe it. But a bit like myself and Deborah, you'd start to hear those voices and think, oh, I must be going crazy, rather than thinking that maybe there is actually something, you know, perhaps we are multidimensional, really, because you do, but we've lost that. I mean, personally, I think we've divided body, mind, and spirit, and we are all three. But we've lost the spiritual side of ourselves, and maybe that's why we see so much, you know, anxiety and fear in the world, is that we've lost a part of ourselves. And it doesn't necessarily mean being religious. It's just that we to really, as women, to trust and be that our innate ability. And so every person can connect with their spirit baby. You just have to be open to it. But everybody's got the ability to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
And that whole mind, body, spirit, it's separate again. That's the separation, and it's all our soul. It's just different, vibrating at different levels. And obviously our body are vibrating at a denser level because it's physical, we can see it, feel it, but still our soul. That's my belief anyway. And yeah, so there is no separation. You know, you are whole. And what the baby showed me about the womb, we focus on our womb space, and of course there's an awful lot of healing going on around that's needed in the womb, but this is our wisdom. This is where we heal. This is where, you know, and heal others. You know, the power and the wisdom held in the sacral chakra in the womb space is so immense. And I don't know about you, Alison, but have you been feeling that really opening up? And women kind of, it's like coming online again, opening up all those memories and that ancient wisdom that had to be buried, that had to be kept hidden, because basically we were killed for it
Yeah,
at some
absolutely.
point or another. And now it's just other ways that they're trying to suppress that
Yeah.
ancient feminine wisdom. So just being, you know, just being on your alert, you know, not your alert, no, but on your just awareness of, okay, your own space and your own energy and your own right to choose. And just on the womb, what the baby showed me is that, you know, we are the womb. It's not just our womb space. So you are the womb because you are a creative being. You know, you are creation. So you are the womb, able to create and birth your babies, but also your life, your projects, your businesses, your, you know, whatever it is. So to really shift from focusing on the womb, you're a whole, you're all. There is no separation between mind, body, spirit. It's you, just your frequencies just in different levels at all those different, in those different you know, those three different ways. It's just vibrating differently. So seeing yourself as the womb, how, just feel into that for a moment, not just your womb space, which you know, we can have an awful lot of kind of patterns around that and wounds around that which, you know, which is what we release when we do the healing with the babies and healing with you. But the womb, you are the womb, like you are the womb that is able to birth. You know, it just feels so empowering. And that's completely what I'm about, is just, you know, remember who you are, not what you've been told. Let's clear out those ears, chakras, of all of those other opinions, and, you know, feel into who you are, this incredible, powerful portal, this womb of creation.
And we have been conditioned, haven't we? We hear all those things about ourselves. We've been conditioned to believe that we're not good enough, that we're not loved enough, that we're not worthy enough. And we are all of those things.
Mm.
I was feeling into that sense of the womb. You know, imagine yourself as the womb. It's like, well, I'm whole. I'm like a creative being.
Yeah.
Such a wonderful energy. And what I mean, you touched on it earlier, Deborah, but that's what I've been getting from the babies, that they want their mothers to heal the wounds. And a lot of it is that the women themselves who are trying to get pregnant are carrying the wounds of their mothers and grandmothers who've experienced a lot of loss. So I find we're having to clear some of that and acknowledging those babies, because they haven't been acknowledged for all the reasons that you said. Yeah. And, you know, I mean, you touched on it as well about the women who, you know, all those women that were, you know, sent into mother and baby homes because they were out of wedlock, you know, and the impact that is trauma as well. And we, a lot of us have got that in our family line. I certainly have in our family line. And that it's almost those things need to be cleared. So some of it's not obvious what needs clearing. A lot of it is in the subconscious somehow, but it's all there. And in our wombs, we can store that fear and pain. And that's not, you know, in order to create, we have to clear out any of that fear and pain, what I believe.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of it isn't ours, isn't the individuals, like you say, is coming from any shame or fear that's being held, not only from any experience in this lifetime, but from past lives, but from your own mum, from your own mother, from your grandmother, from going back in the line. And you might be listening to this going, oh my God, as if I didn't have enough to do. You know, I'm just about, you know, managing this lifetime, let alone thinking about anyone else's or any other kind of lifetimes. But it's, you know, it's easier, it's easier said, that, you know, it's easy, let's keep it simple. There's an energy, that's what I'm feeling. Where is it? Is it mine? Okay, what does it need? Let's just love all those parts. Let's like keep it really simple. You don't have to, you know, there's just keep it simple. And that's what the babies help us with as well, is keeping it simple. Oh, there's this thing. in your soul energy, or there's this thing that's held in the cells of your body. What does it need? And helping you to kind of really clear that space out. Or, you know, just bring love to those parts of you that feel hurt. They're little parts of you that just need love. So imagine like just hugging, you know, if that's all you do, imagine hugging that part of you that feels so sad or so lost or so angry or jealous or bitter. Those parts of you, there's nothing wrong with them. They just need love, because there's, you know, it's a past wound that is coming from, and your journey to motherhood is like blaring that into your face. You cannot ignore it any longer.
And the babies are, you know, it's sort of so strong. It's like, we really don't want to carry the wounds of the past. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And the message is loud and clear from them.
Yeah.
And I think the thing about now is, because it does feel like the world is changing, and there are new modalities, there are lots of other ways to do healing, not in the way where people would, you know, perhaps sit many years having therapy. There are lots of ways now to clear some of this. We don't have to be in these dense energies. It just all just seems to be transmuting much more easily than perhaps even 10 or 15 years ago.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely in the last how long have I been running my business? I don't know, 6 years, 7 years. And just the quickness of it, the ease, that decision, it's choice and intention, like choice and intention. So awareness first. Okay, this is going on, this is what I'm feeling, this is a block I'm feeling, or this is a pain I'm feeling. Choice and intention. Okay, and you might need to go into the story of it, but often we don't need to go into the story of it, because it's all energy, and everything is really transmuting very quickly. And what I found is like, you know, with our own energy, and this might sound really weird, but there was this future vision, and actually it's being in the frequency. So not just me and you, but whoever you're with, whoever's listening, and your frequency, you of course are going to be having an effect on the energy of whoever you're with. So healing is very much around a transmission as well. We all know when we're near water, for example, how we feel, or most of us, around water. There's a transmission from the water that we don't even need to consciously be aware of, or a tree. Like, we instantly feel when we're in nature or when we're near water that our body calms, our system calms, our nervous system calms. So it's like a transmission of those energies. But this is us. We are the transmitters as well. We're, you know, we bring in the energy, of course, through our chakras, but we're also the speakers, emitting that energy, so transmitting. So the more clear we are, particularly as healers, but all of us, then we're beaming out more positive energy all the time, which is having an effect on other people's, the energy of the people around you, of course.
Yeah, and I think being in nature, you know, if you're thinking about more mindfulness, you know, just spending more time in nature, because that is our natural frequency, not this kind of rushing about and moving from one thing to the next. And then we're working in offices, we're going from meeting to meeting, the calendar's full. Yeah, it's about getting back in nature, because that grounds you to the earth, firstly, but also then you almost hear the whispers of the nature. And it makes you slow down, and that's the vibration you want to be at. I mean, certainly I hear the spirit babies when I'm out in nature. So that's a really lovely way for people to connect as well, because they can have a mindful walk in nature. And, you know, just by noticing the trees or noticing the petals on the flowers, you know, and Mother Earth loves that anyway, when you when you notice her more mindfully.
Yeah, and that's all she says is, Mother Earth is, all we ask is for you to notice, you know, notice the flowers, and that's it. Both you and me hear spirit baby. You know, I certainly feel spirit baby. Do you feel the energy of them as well?
Yeah, I mean, I mostly hear, but yeah, I do feel as well.
Yeah. So hearing, you know, hearing energy, seeing energy, feeling energy, these are all ways that we connect with spirit baby, but also the trees, the water, the land, wherever, you know, wherever we are. So spirit baby, you know, don't think, oh, I'm trying to hear, you know, the messages that they come in through a particular flower that might draw your attention, or a bird that you keep seeing, or a cloud shape. I mean, they're communicating in so many different ways, and sometimes that is with images, with dreams. Sometimes it is just by noticing a flower, for example, just sitting, just allowing yourself to notice. And when you notice that your energy shifts, and it shifts into a different gear, and that's when you're less in your head and all the patterns and stuff that's going on there, and then more open for your energy to communicate with whatever energy, positive energy, loving energy that is coming into your space, that you are open to inviting in. Okay, so beautiful. So all that talk of like water and connection and mindful walking, and different ways of communicating with spirit baby, the ancestors, all of this. So all of this is really what is coming together in this fertility retreat of ours, this opening the gateway to conception retreat. So this is happening on the June the 25th. In the beautiful Chalice Gardens of Glastonbury, and it was back in February that I started to think, oh, I started to feel the energy of retreat, an in-person retreat, and I haven't done one of those since 2019 for all the obvious reasons. And I'm usually in Ireland running different retreats, but it was like, oh, there's this retreat space, and the babies really were very clear to heal the mothers. Women who wish to be mothers in this lifetime, they have to honor themselves as the mothers they were in previous lives. And instantly I knew of the ritual, the ceremony, and even if that is just lighting a candle to honor yourself, like keep it simple. But I could see this particular ceremony that I know Alison, as a midwife, has been supporting women with for an awful long time. It's called Closing the Bones. So I got in touch with Alison and said, how do you fancy running a retreat one day soon? And she's like, oh yeah, that feels good. And then nothing happened for a few months. Yeah, then Alison, what's your half of the story?
Yeah, so then I don't know, I got a very strong calling to go to Glastonbury, probably the beginning of May. And I was sitting by the Chalice Well, and I could see, it was the way the sunlight was on the trees, but they looked like these little bubbles. And I thought, it feels like the spirit baby's here. So I just sort of sat quietly, and I just got this really lovely download. And it was, you will return here to do rituals and retreats. This is part of your work now, and you are here to support the women who wish to conceive. And it was just like, wow. Okay. So I came back. I think I called Debra a couple of days later and said, oh, this is what happened to me in Glastonbury this week. And she said, oh, let's do it. I've had a download, you've had a download, let's do it. And so we will be running our retreat on the 25th of June, which is very exciting. We'll see what unfolds.
I know, exactly. And the energy of it. So it was just so easy. We're like, okay, well, what we're gonna do on this retreat? And of course, it's never the doing. That's another thing the babies say when mums say, what do I have to do to help you come in? And like, you're offering us life, what else is there to do? But we're still in this, like, if I do this, I'll get this. So if I try this hard, then this will happen. And of course, conception's, the absolute opposite of that. And receiving information is the absolute opposite of that as well. So our first conversation was, what are we going to do? And then we just thought, okay, that's not our doing, we're the channels for this, so let's just sit back and receive. And it was this and this, and they were just showing us how they were going to be working with us on this day. So of course, the closing the bone ceremony, so the wrapping the scars, honoring you as the mother in whatever lifetime that was, honoring any previous children. So that was one of them. I was shown this spiral, so walking the spiral, going really deep into the heart of things, just going into the spiral of life. Mindful walking through the beautiful Chalice Gardens. The energy of that place is really like nothing else. The water is so pure, you can drink the waters from the stream, and the red well, it's very Mary Magdalene energy, so just full of iron. It's just, yeah, there's lots of magic, shall we say, lots of fairy and elemental magic if you're into that kind of thing. But there's also the beautiful called the Children's Corner, where I always feel my own spirit babies there, but Mother Mary energy that I work very closely with as well in that space. So and then there's opening the gateway, so literally walking through the doorway into conception, into a new energy, into like a reset of, this is what you might be feeling around your conception at the moment in your journey to motherhood, but you're going to be walking into a different vibration. So this is what I keep seeing all the time. It's like opening up. So you're stepping into a very different vibration around your conception energy, whatever that might look like for each of you. But it's just, that's all I can feel is this whoa, opening up. Yeah, and there was just this flow of, okay, that's what they want us to do.
Yeah, so we're showing up.
We're showing up. And of course, both of us are, the intention is for you, of course, to connect with your spirit baby and to receive any messages from them, because we're all about empowering you to know you are absolutely able to do that. But of course, the babies will be coming through us as well, so receiving messages from spirit baby as well. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. And what we've also just, well, Alison, you had this idea, like, well, I always thought we were going to go to Stonehenge, and I thought, how are we going to, are we going to hire a bus or something and just drive and go to Stonehenge before we go to Glastonbury? Stonehenge was just playing in my mind, and we thought, logistically, I don't know how that's going to work, but I've definitely had the call to go to Stonehenge. So Alison and I are going to go to Stonehenge on the Friday, and we're going to be called to do whatever we're being asked to do there with the land. There was there's so many beautiful ancient stories. When I go to Stonehenge, it's so Divine Mother. It's very much about birthing and conception, from how I feel it. And certainly those big stones are a gateway. And you may have all heard the stories of portals and things like that. So Alice and I are going to stop off there on our little road trip, and we'll be recording whatever comes through from Stonehenge. And yeah, and Alison, also you had something in Avebury, seeing the mound, was it?
Yeah, so there's the mound. It's like the womb. It's just amazing. And apparently it was a birthing site. So it does feel like this little road trip from Stonehenge to Avebury and then to Glastonbury.
Yeah.
Let's watch the magic unfold, Deborah.
Let's it unfold. So we're going to be recording that journey, and because I know I've had a lot of people from different parts of the world saying, oh, can you come over and do it here? Or can you, is there, can we do something like this online? So a few of the things like the closing the bones and some of the other rituals we're going to do, we can't do that online, but we can do an awful lot online. So we're going to record whatever comes through in these different places that we don't yet know what that is, what we're being asked to do, but we're going to record whatever we're being asked. And then that of course will be available after, if all goes to plan in that way. But yeah, a little definitely a road trip to the sacred feminine. It's just conception. That's all I can feel from those sites.
And for us, it's like trust and faith, isn't it? Just like it is for those watching, on your conception journey, there is an element of trust and faith, and perhaps that's the energy that we've been given. Just have trust and faith that whatever happens will happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we'll probably end up on the tour at some point as well. So a nice road trip down to Glastonbury. So we will record the Stonehenge and Avebury parts. We'll record the Glastonbury parts as well for those of you who can't make it. But of course, welcome with open arms to the Chalice Well. So Friday night we can spend together, and then all day Saturday, really opening up and resetting your conception energy. So it would be just gorgeous to welcome you in person, and hold you in that space.
Excellent.
Okay, all right. So Alison, anything else that you'd like to share? Or
No, just well, I'm just feeling the magic of it. I'm feeling it already. I feel like the babies are all like, yay, yay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're so
excited.
there.
Yeah, so ready. Yeah,
And we
so
keep asking them what what is it, because we're very much alongside them, as you are, because they are alongside you. So if you're hearing that call to come and be with us, then just feel into where that energy, that feeling is coming from, that I've got to be there, because that means you're being called, which is absolutely gorgeous. So hopefully on person, but also the online, if you can't happen to come over to the UK or can't travel. So yeah, gorgeous. I think that's it. So June the 25th,
9:30 to 4:30.
9:30 to 4:30, but we'll arrange to meet up on the Friday evening as well, at the Taliswell Gardens. And I'll put the link underneath the video for anyone who wants to join, but certainly take a look at my website, debrakilby.com, and you'll see that on one of my blogs. Alison, is it on your website?
Yeah, AlisonShaloe.com. You'll see it there as well. Yeah. Opening the gateway to conception.
Yeah, just obviously message us through Facebook, email, Instagram, you know the drill. So we're here. Any questions, please do ask away. If you want to chat to us before making your decision, please do. We just love meeting people and just just seeing where you're at and what it is you need, what you feel you need from this connection and from your connection to your babies. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed listening about spirit babies and feeling them in the space. I always smile so much when I'm talking, because this like, they lift the energy. They remind us that there's joy, even if it's the last thing that we might be feeling. They remind us that it's joy that lifts us into that space to be open, empowered, hope. Okay, all right, so lots of love. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.